Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. Today it's preview day at Your Next Stamp and this is a preview of the new August release. This one is called Party Pets. So I'm taking a card base that is Fog by Simon Says Stamp and I'm scoring it to make it a top folding A2 card base. I'm using some masking tape and a piece of Bristol Smooth White cardstock, and we're going to do some ink blending. I'm using Versamagic chalk inks, and I believe the two colors that really created that bottom grassy area was tea leaves and lime, something lime. It'll be listed below. So as that sits to dry, I'm going to stamp my image with Memento Tuxedo Black on some Neenah 80-pound cardstock. And I'm going to do some Copic coloring with this image. Of course, I'm stamping it twice in case I mess it up. So I'm getting a backup image. So I'm using MFT's Mini Cloud Stencil to create my clouds. And I'm using, I think it's Aspen Mist. I think it's Aspen Mist. If it's not, it'll be listed below. It's a blue color that is cloudy like a sky. It could be Sea Breeze. I'm not quite sure. It's probably Sea Breeze. I should be more prepared, shouldn't I? So I'm taking this masking paper and I'm just helping myself out by securing it more to the tabletop. That way, as I blend the clouds, it's not moving around and I don't have to stress my left hand as much to keep that stuff still. So I'm just rotating it counterclockwise, I think, I don't know why, you can rotate it either way to create the different clouds in the background. And I'm just slowly, it looks like it's fast, but it's not. It's slowly blending these clouds onto the background. The piece of Bristol Smooth is what I'm blending the clouds on. So this is a chalk ink, so it takes a little bit longer to dry than pigment ink. So you have to be a little bit more careful with it, or not pigment ink, but dye ink. I'm going to cut this out. This is this is Your Next Stamp's Stitched Rectangles die, the second from largest in the set, which is just like the Mama Elephant Femme Frames stitched rectangle. And I wanted to darken up the bottom a little bit, so I'm using that tea leaves green color to, sorry about that, create a little bit more shadow. So I'm stamping my Sentiment Have a Perfect Day with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I'm going to Copic color my little kitty. Now, growing up, when I did, Garfield was a huge thing, at least for me. I just loved Garfield. The comics, we actually used to read the paper when I was a kid, this thing called a newspaper, and it had comics in it, and we would sit and eat our cereal and read the comics. Crickets, I'm pretty sure. So nobody does that anymore. Everyone's watching YouTube, and I'm grateful for that. But Garfield, and then they came out with the Garfield cartoon, and that rocked my world. So I'm coloring my kitty in remembrance of Garfield, the little tubby lasagna eating cat. And if you don't know who that is, Google it. It's worth the Google. So I'm starting, I lay out my shadowy areas with my lightest color just so I can kind of decide where I want them to be. And then I go through the colors and back and through the light, the mid-tone, and the dark shadow. And I just keep going until I feel like it looks good. I have no training except for the few online card classes that I've taken. And I just do what I like. And I make it fun for myself. And that's what I think everyone else should do, is just have fun and don't worry about it. And the more you do it, the better it's going to get. the more you're going to enjoy it, and so on. That's what I tell my kids anyway. So once I finish coloring my kitty, I'm going to do his hat and his balloon the same exact way. I will have a Copic color map, which is just my way of sharing with you the colors that I'm using, because I have Chow markers and sketch markers, and they don't all have indicators on the lid, so it's easier for me to just list it on my blog later. So what I've decided to do is create these like Copic color maps, and it's not because I feel like I did such a great job, it's just that's how I'm sharing what colors that I've used on my image. So if you're interested, that's where you can find what colors I'm using. It's just the easiest way for me to remember to share the colors. I did use a Jelly Roll black glaze pen on his nose, and I think his eyeballs. So once he's all colored out, or all colored up, we're going to die cut him with the coordinating dies. And now we are going to cut out this 6 from the new bold alphas right from the middle of that balloon. The balloon is a good size, and these numbers fit perfectly in there. So I'm taking another piece of black craft foam, and I'm cutting a number out of it as well. We're going to do some inlaid die cutting. So this little square is going to help me adhere these together. You coat this little, it could be typing paper or cardstock, whatever you have handy. Coat it with the tape runner adhesive or liquid adhesive and adhere it to the back of your image. And then you can stick the piece of foam on top of it, and then use some liquid adhesive on the upper part or inner part and adhere the 6 that's originally part of your image. And that creates an inlaid number 6 into your balloon, and you can personalize your card that way. This just happens to be, we were going to a birthday party for our friend, and she was turning 6, so that's why I used the number 6. Okay, Dexter, I'll be there in a minute. Never a moment's peace. So I've adhered this panel with craft foam and score tape to pop it up just a bit, and then I'm using Scotch 3M foam tape to adhere my little kitty flying in his balloon in the background. And that's really my card. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. That?
It's gonna be chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk?
Yeah. See, it's gonna be chocolate milk.
Well, that's interesting.
So for Gamma, so I was going at Gamma today. Watch me, my.
Is this my dinner?
Yeah, but it can be, but it's yucky with sand.
Yeah, it looks kind of yucky.